but then we were just clearly too slow. Yeah, own package, try to optimize that further.
Listen, guys. Last time we showed you how Max Verstappen is outplaying the entire grid off the track. But there's one thing he still doesn't have, and Lewis Hamilton just proved exactly how much it's worth. When Lewis walked into Ferrari, they didn't just hand him a car. They handed him his own people, a whole team rebuilt in his image, and he's winning again because of it. Max never got that at Red Bull. Not in 10 years. And that, not the exit clause, might be the real reason he finally walks. Here's what Lewis has that Max doesn't. Quick 30-second version if you haven't followed the Hamilton to Ferrari story closely. When Lewis signed, Ferrari didn't just clear a seat and hand him overalls. They went out and brought in the people from his world. Loïc Serra, the engineer who ran the technical side through Hamilton's championship years at Mercedes, is now Ferrari's technical director, leading the entire car development program. Jerome, another Mercedes man from Lewis's inner circle, arrived as deputy team principal. They even reshaped the cockpit to fit him. Now, in fairness, Ferrari will tell you the car isn't built around any one driver, and that's true. Serra was actually in motion before Lewis even signed, so I'm not going to overstate it. But the thing underneath is simple, and it's real. Lewis walked into a team that had reshaped itself in his favor, staffed with people who already knew how he wins and how he talks. A great driver never arrives alone. He brings his world with him, his engineers, his management, his language, and Ferrari let him. And here's the part that should make every Red Bull fan a little uneasy. It worked. After what was genuinely one of the most painful seasons of his entire career, Lewis has come alive in 2026. He ended a 686-day victory drought at Barcelona, his first win in red, and right now he's sitting just 41 points off the championship lead, a real title contender again at 41 years old. Sit with what that proves. Take a great driver everyone had started to write off, give him the right people around him, and a car he can actually shape with his feedback, and he wins. That's the experiment Ferrari ran this year, and it's the exact experiment Red Bull has spent a decade refusing to run with Max. So what has Max had over that same stretch? The opposite of everything I just described. Instead of building a team around him, Red Bull spent this year hemorrhaging the people who built his dynasty in the first place. Christian Horner, the only team principal Max had ever raced for, the man who signed him as a teenager, gone. Adrian Newey, the designer behind every single one of his title-winning cars, gone. Senior technical people, gone with them. In their place, Laurent Mekies, capable, respected, but new to the chair and inheriting a team in the middle of an identity crisis. Notice the direction of all of this. Max didn't get to bring his people in. He got to stand there and watch his people leave. And when he crashed in qualifying at his own team's home race in Austria, Red Bull went public to apologize to him and insist it was a car problem, not his mistake. Think about what that tells you. That's not a team empowering its driver. That's a team managing him, and nervously. And this is the moment that really gives the whole thing away, because Max wanted that kind of power so badly that when he couldn't get it inside Red Bull, he went out and built it somewhere else entirely. His own racing team, Verstappen.com Racing. His cars, his drivers, his engineers, his decisions, running in GT and endurance while he races on Sundays. Stop and really think about what that means. The best driver on the planet had to go and start his own team in a different championship just to feel what it's like to build something in his own image. The thing Lewis was simply handed at Ferrari on day one, Max had to construct from nothing on the side, with his own name and his own money, because the team he has won 4 world titles for would not give it to him inside their own walls. And here's the uncomfortable truth in that. When your generational talent is quietly building his empire outside your building instead of inside it, that isn't loyalty you're holding on to. That's a countdown you've just started. So here's my honest take. And I want to be straight about exactly what's fact and what's my argument. The fact is this: Lewis got an environment rebuilt around him, and it revived a career people had written off. The argument, and this part is mine, is that Max has earned that same thing many times over, and Red Bull has simply never given it to him. I'm not talking about a car built around him. Nobody gets that, and Ferrari are right to say so. I'm talking about the power that actually matters. A real seat at the table on who runs the team, which engineers stay, where the car's development goes, and yes, the ability to bring in a few people he trusts completely. 4 championships should buy a driver that. Lewis got exactly that at Ferrari on the strength of his 7 titles and his reputation. Max, with 4 titles and sitting right in the prime years of his career, is still being handed decisions from above instead of making them. And the cruelest detail is the timing. This is a brand new rules era, the one window where a driver's fingerprints on the car shape the next 4 years of racing. Lewis is in the room shaping Ferrari's future. Max is outside the room, watching Red Bull shape his, and shape it badly. Let the tables settle the argument because it's brutal. Same season, same new rules, 2 of the greatest to ever do it. Lewis Hamilton, a race win, a live title fight, 41 points off the lead in a Ferrari he helped build. Max Verstappen, 7th in the championship, nearly 100 points adrift, dragging a Red Bull that only clawed back competitive in the last few weeks, and only after the team panicked and threw everything at it. One of them was given the keys to his own house. The other was left trying to fix a house that other people keep redesigning without ever asking him. And understand what power actually bought Lewis, because it isn't magic. Serra already knew how Lewis works, so the feedback loop was instant from day one. D'Ambrosio already knew his people, so nothing got lost in translation. That's the quiet, invisible advantage Max has never once had in this post-Newey, post-Horner Red Bull, a team that speaks his language natively. Leverage can force Red Bull to pay him. It cannot force them to understand him. Only a team that chooses to build around you can do that. So here's where it all lands. Ferrari showed the entire grid what happens when you hand a champion the power to build his own world. Lewis is winning again at 41 because of it. Red Bull did the exact opposite with Max, and now the best driver alive is building his empire outside their walls and glancing at the exit. My honest take? Max hasn't just earned Hamilton-level power. He needed it 2 years ago, and every single week he goes without it, that door looks more inviting. And we find out where this breaks fast, because the exit clause window opens at the summer break in August. That's just weeks away now. And Spa lands before it. If Red Bull finally starts handing Max real control before that window opens, he stays and this all cools down. If they don't, then Lewis Hamilton just gave him a live demonstration of what leaving to be truly wanted actually looks like. So here's the one I can't answer yet. If Red Bull walked in tomorrow and offered Max that power, is it already too late? Tell me below.